Hey, I am working on this song right now. It's Jake from Guitar Gym Pro, and I'm practicing, and I'm working on Good by Cody Carnes. And I just noticed some really cool stuff with this. I'm just pulling you closer so you can see the guitar neck a little bit. And I just wanted to share it with you. So I've talked before about, and I know a lot of people know about, playing kind of in our E major, in the key of E major, using these movable voicings. We're essentially playing what would be a bar chord for the A, but we're not barring. We're leaving strings 1 and 2, that B and E, open, right? For A, for B, and then even for C sharp minor. And so what I would do is this would be with the middle finger down, C sharp major. So I actually kind of put my first finger there, and I do my thumb over, but you don't even have to. A lot of people kind of play power chords on this 5th string to just move around, to keep those droning strings, right? And so the song Good by Cody Carnes, he's actually a half step down, so his guitar is E flat standard. I think I'm in E or close to E-ish from when I pulled it out of the case, so I'm doing it up. But he's playing, well, you are good in all things perfect. That's our C sharp minor chord. I can trust your promise. I followed you all my days. Now, that 3rd chord, right after we do the C sharp, is this really cool D major 9, 11 voicing, or D major 9 at 13 voicing. And so it actually makes this mixolydian, or it's E mixolydian instead of major. In the key of E, E, F, G, sharp, right? E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. That major 7th would be a D sharp. But we have in this song, that D natural chord, and it's major, which is just awesome. So we're doing this mixolydian, but using these droning E and B strings that we would use if we were in the key of E major. It's really a cool sound. So that's our verse. We're starting with that E major chord. You are good in all things perfect. And then that's our 6 minor chord, C sharp minor. And I can trust your promise. That's our D major. So we're just using a bar chord shape at the 10th fret. Only I'm using my thumb or first finger on the E string, so I let that E and B ring open. Follow you all my days. It's really beautiful, and it's super cool. So what would our other characteristic chords of mixolydian be? So the way that I like to think about mixolydian, and this gets into the weeds a little bit, right? Because we're talking modes and things like that, but let's relate it back to our major scale. So what major scale would have E as mixolydian? And so the answer is going to be A major. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. But so it has that D, it's our 4 in the key of A, that flat 7 major in the key of E is that D major voicing. So the idea and why this is so cool and why it's just so awesome is because we don't usually get that mixolydian. But so in the key of E, right, we have E as our 1 chord, A as our 4 chord, and then B major as our 5 chord. But for E mixolydian, B isn't going to be major, it's going to be minor because it's the key of A, and B is the 2 chord in the key of A. And technically we're in the key of A, or E mixolydian, and he's going to use this minor 5, which is that mixolydian sound, right? Because we usually have a major 5. So that flat 7 and that minor 5, those are our 2 big chords that are going to show us that it's mixolydian. So again, our verse 1, you are good and all things perfect. I can trust your promise. I'll follow you, flat 7, all my days. And then you are good and you can only be good, right? Man, that's high. I'm a half step up from the record, but you are good and you can only be good. That's that B minor, 5 minor. You can't be anything else. You can't be anything else. And then goes to F sharp minor, which is our regular 2 minor key of E major would be F sharp minor, or E mixolydian, it would be F sharp minor. So in the verse, he's using that flat 7 chord to show you that it's mixolydian. And in the chorus, you are good and you can only be good. It can't be. He's using that 5 minor. And so that gives us that really mixolydian sound. And this is so rare in worship or pop music or anything like that. Much more typically, we're going to see this kind of modal intentionality and doing something modal in like a jazz tune or something like that. And so it's really cool to see him really leaning into that and using those 2 chords. And as guitar players, being able to use these super sweet open voicings. I had my thumb in the wrong place. But being able to use those super sweet open voicings makes us sound like a guitar player, right? We're not having to play all these crazy closed off voicings, all these bar chords that make it sound a little bit stiff and stilted, right? So I'm just a huge fan of that. It's not something that I've heard a lot of people do, and it's just such a cool thing. Using these shapes that we would expect to be associated with the key of E major, used for E mixolydian. So next time you're writing a song or you're playing a song in the key of E, think about making it mixolydian instead of going to our B major that we would expect. What if we used B minor? And what if we added in that flat 7 major 7 chord, that D? All right, I'll leave you all with that. Happy practicing.